Somehow, even after a day full of book shopping, something doesn't feel right in my life. I'll be reading this one first, Memorial, and then I'll be reading Family Meal. This one releases in October 2023. Me and my friend were at the bookstore, and my friend read the word serial killer in the blurb, and he looked at me like, is this based on a real event? And as the saying goes, that one is never enough. Hello everyone, this is Kunal from BBC. Welcome to my channel. This is the July month's book haul video, and I'll also try to predict some of the possible books that could be longlisted for the Booker Prize 2023. It is scheduled to be announced on the 1st of August. So here are the books. 90% of them are the ones that I've purchased, apart from 2 to 3 which are sent by the publishers in exchange of a review. Where do I start? I would like to say that July, or rather I should say right from June, it starts raining here in Mumbai in India. It gets all dark and gloomy and depressing. Even reading doesn't help as it's all dark inside your home most of the time. So I thought, yes, it's time to go for book shopping now. I visited one of my favorite stores here in Mumbai, the White Crow. The experience of browsing books, discovering new authors is unmatchable. I'll start talking about the books now. Before that, I would like to request you people to please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you're into watching bookish videos. It's free for you, but it helps my channel a lot. I'll start with the books now. First one in the list is Minor Detail by Adania Shibli, translated from the Arabic by Elizabeth Jacket. It was about time that I bought this one because it was lying on my TBR for a long time. It is a novel that explores a series of crime allegedly committed by the Israeli soldiers on Arab women in 1948, a period which is considered of extreme aggression between the native Arabs and the Israelis. So it talks about the long-lasting effects that the period had on the Palestinian women. This topic has always been important, so that way it makes this one a brave craft, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this one later in this year. Second in the list is Memorial by Bryan Washington, which also brings me to the first book mail of the video, Family Meal by Bryan Washington. To make it less confusing, Family Meal is an upcoming novel of Bryan Washington, which releases in October 2023. I've been sent an early copy by the publisher, Atlantic Books, via the Penguin India team. I'll talk about Memorial first. This is the one that I've purchased. It explores the relationship of two gay men. They are a couple. They live in Austin in Texas, Mike and Benson. Their relationship has to go through a rigorous test when Mike leaves for Osaka to check up on his ill father, and Mike's mother comes to Austin to live with Benson. So it's like a coming of age story of a gay couple, which also has, the book also has humor in it. At least that's what the reviews say, and I'm sure a lot of you must have already read this one. So this will be my first read of August, and I'll follow it by Family Meal by Bryan Washington, which is an upcoming novel from him, as I mentioned earlier. Even this explores a relationship of a gay couple, also friendships between men. There's a couple, Cam and Kai. They live in LA. Kai has recently passed away, which has obviously affected Cam a lot. It is very tough for him to go through the phase, so he returns to Houston, which is his hometown. He returns to TJ, who is his former best friend. So now their friendship takes a turn because Cam is obviously a changed person now. So I'll read what one of the comment on the blurb says. With Bryan's signature generosity and eye for food, sex, love, and the moments that make us the most human, Bryan Washington returns with yet another brilliant novel. So yep, I'm very much excited to read this one. I'll just give my first impression. The synopsis on this one sound way better. Memorial has a lot of humor in it, so that would be fun to read too. These two will be my first two reads of August. Next one in the list is The Magician by Toibin. I hope I am pronouncing the name right. I spotted this one on a fellow Bookstagrammer's post, Misha's post. I'll attach the screenshot here. So I haven't read Thomas Mann's novels, but for a very special reason, I am very much drawn towards his works, especially The Magic Mountain. The special reason is for some other day, but this book is a fictionalized account of Thomas Mann's life, his personal struggles, his creative process, and all the complexities of his relationship. I'll be reading this one after reading Mann's novels, but obviously this one makes it to the haul. Next one is The New Life by Tom Crewe. It won the Orwell Prize for Fiction 2023. It is a work of historical fiction and LGBTQ literature. It is set in the 1890s of London, where two men come together and they are working on a study which favors the civil rights of sexual inverts. They were called by that term back then. So they are two men who are working for the civil rights of gay community. And I saw Eric Carl Anderson's video where he said that he was reminded of The Well of Loneliness by Radcliffe Hall while reading this one. I read the Radcliffe Hall book 2 this year and I absolutely loved it. I was moved by it, and I do not say this for a lot of books, but I loved it a lot. I've started this one too earlier this month. I have not progressed much, but I can say that I'm liking it. So this was about it. Next one in the list is Babysitter by Joyce Carol Oates. I am yet to start with my Oates journey, and I know there are greater options like We Were the Moon Bunnies, but I was at the store and I spotted this one and was immediately seduced by the plot. It is a novel set in the 1970s in Detroit in the US, in the backdrop of child abductions, and there's a woman who is suffering from a abusive affair, and the themes of race, class, religion, and child abuse, all of those are explored in this one. So I made a quick decision of purchasing this. Next in the list is a book mail sent to me by Pen Macmillan team in India, Marginlands by Arati Kumar-Rao. When they approached me for this book, I told them that it's right up my street. So after receiving it, I read it and posted my thoughts on Instagram even before making this video. So this is a non-fiction book about the vulnerable landscapes of India, about climate change, or about how ecology is not just natural and also human-induced. The author left her high-paying corporate job for her passion in environmental storytelling. This is a documentation of her travel experiences, all primary data, first-hand data. I've posted about it in a little detail on my Instagram. You can read it there. For those of you who do not follow me on Instagram, I'll attach the link in the description. You can follow me there. Next is one of the two winners of the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction this year, Trust by Hernan Diaz. I requested this book with the Pen Macmillan team of India, and they were kind enough to send me. It was also longlisted for the Booker Prize last year. It was always on my TBR. The major reason why I've always been drawn towards the book is because the book is divided into 4 parts, which are like 4 books in themselves. And I was reading reviews online and about the plot of the book. I remember reading one review where it said that the plot seems to be complicated now, but it is not. And I stopped reading everything about the book after that because I decided I'll sort of go blind on it. And I was also seeing the interview of the author. So basically he said that he was trying to write a book about extreme wealth and capital, and this book in a way explores the relationship between money and power and how it rules our lives and relationships. Next month I'll be making a video about both the Pulitzer Prize winners for fiction, Trust and Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. So I hope you will look up to that too. Next one in the list is, as they say, one is never enough. The Covenant of Water by Dr. Abraham Verghese. The reason why I'm saying this is because I already have the proof copy which was sent to me by the publisher, and I thought when you read thick books, the spine of the book tends to get creased. So I thought I'll get another paperback for myself. What do I say about this book? The reason why I'm happy is because I've taken out a few days just to read this book. It's of 740 pages. It's a multi-generational saga based here in Kerala in India. It spans 3 generations of an Indian family, which is around 70 to 80 years. From reading excerpts of the book to reading the reviews and watching author interviews with Oprah Winfrey, it is selected for the book of the month for Oprah's book club, and they've already begun the read along. So I'm late that way, but I'll be catching up soon because this is my next read. So the excitement is not settling, at least not till I start reading the book. Next one is yet another book mail by Simon and Schuster team of India, Unspoken by Sharmistha Gooptu. It released in the month of June. I remember watching a reel of the author where she was talking about the book. She started by saying that in our society, we judge our mothers the most, and they are considered this paragon of virtue. She was talking about the book, and I also read the blurb. It says, the summer of 2024, 64-year-old Mrs. G starts to talk about her love affair with a man she calls A. To her daughter Ayesha, A appears to be a figment of her mother's dementia-afflicted mind. There's more, but I watched that reel and I read the blurb and I thought I would like to read this. So I'll be reading this later towards the month end after the Covenant book. Next in the list is the much talked novel of the year, Hungry Ghosts by Kevin Jard Hosein. It is set in the 1940s of Trinidad in Caribbean. It traces members of a multiracial community and their relations and how institutional poverty affects the masses. There's much talk about this being longlisted for the Booker Prize of 2023. We'll see how that goes, but irrespectively, I'll be reading this book next month. Next in the list is a classic written by Vladimir Lenin, The State and the Revolution. It is considered to be one of his most notable contributions as a political theory. It's a book that talks about the role of the state in society. It talks about proletarian revolution and the inadequacies of social democracy in achieving it. I have this wish of reading the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx and also this one. So I spotted this at the bookstore, so I thought let's go with the impulsive purchase. And the last book of the video is the winner of the Booker Prize 2017, Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders. This is a pre-loved copy. I got it for 100 rupees, which is around 1.2 US dollars. I have not read much about the book. It is a fictionalized account of aftermath of President Abraham Lincoln's son, his death, William, who's his son Willie, after his death, and how the former president deals with the grief. And the entire book is set in one evening. It is set in the Bardo, which is considered to be the space between life and death. So this is all what I've read about the book. I've only purchased this because it was a good deal for 100 rupees. But this was the basic synopsis. And now my predictions of the Booker Prize 2023 long list. So there are certain books that I've read and I've loved. So I would be happy to see them on the long list. Burnham Wood by Eleanor Catton is one book that I read and I liked it a lot. I've rated it a 5 on 5. I know there are mixed feelings, mixed thoughts about this one, but I would be happy to see it on the long list. Then there is New Life by Tom Crewe. I started it earlier this month and I would like to see it on the long list. Then there's Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese, and by now I do not even need a reason. The books that I've not read but I'm predicting them to be on long list is by reading reviews of these books, considering who the jury members are, and also after watching other people's predictions videos. But the Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver, I read it and I obviously loved it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was listed this year. Kevin Jard Hosein's Hungry Ghosts, I see it on the long list. There are multiple books like Old God's Time, Chain Gang All Stars, Small Worlds. These are some of my rough predictions. I know I should be talking about them in brief, but the video has already crossed 15 minutes. So these were my rough predictions. Do tell me what are your predictions in the comment section, and also let me know what you feel about this video, and I'll see you people in the next video. Till then, keep reading books, keep collecting books. Bye.